everyone, I did my mini video on the pedigree prompt. To start off, we're going to talk about the 5 modes of inheritance that we see. So we can have an X-linked dominant trait, an X-linked recessive trait, a Y-linked trait, an autosomal dominant trait, and an autosomal recessive trait. In the pedigree, we're going to go through which traits don't work and which traits work and why. So I did full and fuller house. I started with Danny and Jesse's parents and worked my way down to Danny's grandkids, which we meet in fuller house. So first, let's see if this could be an X-linked dominant pedigree. We're going to look at Danny and Pam and their kids. Since purple in my pedigree is affected, which means sickle-cell-anemia, and white is unaffected. Since Danny has sickle cell, he would be affected and have a big A if he was dominant. Which means since Pam is unaffected, she'd have a little a. If they were to cross and have 3 girls, which they do, DJ, Stephanie, and Michelle, Danny would have to pass X big A to his girls. But as seen, all of his girls are white and unaffected. So this could not be an X-linked dominant trait. Let's see if it can be X-linked recessive. In order to do this, we're going to look at Stephanie and Jimmy and their daughter Danielle. If it was recessive, Danielle would have 2 little A's on her X's. But Jimmy is her dad and he is unaffected, so he gets a big A. For the same reason as we just stated, Jimmy would have to give his daughter a little a for this to be X-linked recessive. And since he does not have an X with a little a, this cannot be X-linked recessive. Let's go see if it can be Y-linked. So to see if it can be Y-linked, we're going to look at Jesse and Becky and their twin boys. To represent a Y-link, I put a big A on the Y, but both of his boys are unaffected and they're white. And in this case, he would only be able to pass his Y down to his boys, therefore this cannot be a Y-linked trait. Let's look at autosomal traits now. If this were to be autosomal dominant, Jesse would have a big A, and his sister Pam would be recessive, and since his parents are unaffected too, they'd be recessive. This is not possible because, as seen, 2 recessive parents cannot have a dominant child. The last mode of inheritance to cover is autosomal recessive. This is an autosomal recessive pedigree, and I have it worked out. All shaded individuals are little a, and all unshaded have at least 1 big A.